Okay. So thank you all for being here today. Todd Rufo, the Director of the Office of Economic and Workforce Development. We're here to announce the launch of the San Francisco Enterprise Zone web app. And before I hand it over to the mayor and our speakers today, I just want to give a little bit of background about what the Enterprise Zone is. The Enterprise Zone is a valuable tax credit program that many San Francisco businesses can take advantage of. And what it basically allows businesses to do is to get tax credits on new employees that they hire in San Francisco. And there's a number of ways to qualify those employees. If you go to www.oewd.org, you can find out more information about the Enterprise Zone. But let me introduce our speakers today. Following the mayor will be Marissa Andres from McKinsey Auto Parts Warehouse and Kate Sophis from SFMA. So with that, Mayor Lee.
Thank you, Todd. I just wanted to make sure I got up here after all the enthusiastic stand-up audience crowding that's here. First of all, good morning. Welcome to City Hall. Government does have a lot of programs, and I'm an author of many of them through my 22 years of experience working with different mayors to try to help the public and the business community access these programs better. And sometimes, we have to admit, we don't get that information out to everybody in the quickest, efficient way. And sometimes we create our own bureaucracies to do that with a lot of paperwork, a lot of bureaucracy time wasted, and just not getting access to people when they need it. And we've heard that very strongly from the Small Business Commission, and Regina's done a good job documenting and articulating for quite some years now what we need to do. And our local businesses who want to start businesses here and succeed have also weighed in with many, many recommendations to my administration. So Todd and his wonderful staff has worked very hard with the Small Business Commission and with our small business entities throughout the city to really start delivering on some of these ideas that have been baking for some years. And we've been talking about, in general, how we can get a whole slew of permits and programs online, accessible 24/7 to any small or medium or any large business, and allow them to be able to fill out the information online, get a response back in an appropriate time frame, and not waste their time coming down to City Hall or some across the town office to file paperwork and then to guess as to whether or not anybody's going to read it, or if they go on vacation, it gets slogged into the underpile. And this is true for the Enterprise Zone applications. It's an invaluable program, one that we know those of businesses that have used it, that have applied for it appropriately in the past, that have struggled through the bureaucracy, got up to some $37,000 of tax credits for qualified employees that they hired to help them run a successful business. $37,000 per employee is one of the highest levels of qualifications for this tax credit that a business could get. And, that's invaluable money for a small business, for a growing business. And so this Enterprise Zone application, I think, is invaluable to many qualifying businesses that might exist in the Bayview Hunters Point, Visitation Valley, in Mission Bay, or in even Chinatown and even parts of North Beach. All over our city, we have these enterprise zones that have been declared zones that could appropriately apply for these tax credits. And different qualified employees would qualify. There's categories for veterans, categories for disabled, as well as just low-income workers that might also help a business qualify. Well, as you can already see from the information I'm giving you, any business could see the value of applying successfully for this. So the Enterprise Zone, after some months of work with our technology staff and with our Small Business Commission staff and Regina and others, we've developed an Enterprise Zone web application online. And it's going to be available 24/7. You may not get a response at 2 in the morning on a Saturday, but you'll certainly get it in so that there could be a response back to you, certainly by the working hours of Monday. But it allows an employer, or their staff to be able to file those at their leisure so that it doesn't take away from their valuable time running their business. I think this is the smartest thing we're doing, and this might be the prototype example for other types of permits that the city requires people to file in order to get either a benefit or permission, that this might be the prototype for other things to follow these higher levels of efficiencies. And this is where we want our businesses to know how we support them. We take away the bureaucracy and the time. We use technology to our advantage and have a very simple way of accessing this on the web, make it available to everybody. And then you watch and see how many businesses will then start taking advantage of this because it is simply more accessible and efficient to them. And then they're going to find these dollars that we've accumulated and made available through federal government or state grants or even our own city's monies that we're putting up will be of such great help to revitalizing our commercial corridors and our neighborhoods throughout the whole city. That's why I'm excited to announce this web application, to explain it in the larger picture of how this will help small businesses gain a foothold in a bureaucratic maze that they've often criticized the city for, and show as an example what we can really do when we start focusing on how to help people and not just make them comply. And this is the way we do it. I want to introduce Marissa, as earlier introduced, and she is the comptroller for an auto warehouse company here in San Francisco, and I believe she's taken advantage of it. And then following her will be Kate Sophus, who's the head of our SF Made program, and a wonderful partner who is in touch with so many local manufacturers who are also going to be taking great advantage of this efficient app and making sure everybody sees that these credits and the monies that are there that might be due to them that could help them hire a veteran or a person with disability or a new hire that they can have and grow and be successful at the same time. So with that, Marissa, please step up.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Marissa Andres. I'm the controller of SF Automotive Parks Warehouse, DBA McKenzie Warehouse, located in Potrero Hill. The enterprise zone hiring tax credit is really important to our company. The savings we earn in tax credits are used for hiring and retaining employees. The online tool is simple and straightforward, and it saves me valuable time. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. SF Made works with now 403 manufacturers across San Francisco, and they collectively employ 3,200 people. And last year, the sector grew by over 12% net new jobs. So this is a very vibrant sector that is creating new jobs. Over 90% of these companies are physically located in the enterprise zone in San Francisco. And the enterprise zone series of credits, hiring credits, tax credits, both state and local, are basically the most powerful economic development tool we currently have to help incentivize companies to invest. For most of our manufacturers, human capital, the people who work with them, the skilled craftspeople, are the essential sauce in what they make and in what they do. And more often when they are looking to expand, the first place they want to add capacity, even before equipment, is generally people. And so we have seen already the impact of the Enterprise Zone program on companies in the manufacturing sector, large and small. If we look at a company like Anchor Brewing Company or Timbuktu, both of whom take advantage of the Enterprise Zone hiring program, those two companies together just last year hired in excess of 40 people, and they use those Enterprise Zone credits both to help offset the cost of bringing on new folks, to train them, and to apply towards new equipment. Anchor Brewing Company, as an example, invested more than $1 million of bottling equipment just last year. So it's an incredibly important program for big and small companies. On the other end, when we look at San Francisco's manufacturers, about 40% of them are under 3 years old. So they are new companies. They are making their first, their second, their third hire. And for the smallest companies, as we work together with the city to help them grow, just the incremental value of a single enterprise zone qualified employee, that $37,000 that Mayor Lee just mentioned, can be the difference between them pulling the trigger now on that hire, even as we're still in somewhat uncertain economic times, or delaying that hire, or delaying their ability to expand, or delaying their ability to respond to a large customer order. So it's incredibly important. For us, since we've been working collaboratively with the Office of Economic and Workforce Development, specifically on trying to get the word out on Enterprise Zone, the program, we found when we started this journey 3 years ago, even our largest companies, many of whom had been in the Enterprise Zone for decade, didn't really either know about the program, or more often than not, they knew about it, but felt that the process of applying was cumbersome, and the paperwork, and they didn't know how to do it in-house. And I will tell you a story. The process of collecting and filing for Enterprise Zone credits up until now has been so complicated that a whole private sector industry has grown up around consultants who companies pay to help them file for these credits. So I think the huge advantage that we see now with the automated tool includes, number one, getting the word out, making it easier to tell companies about this program, to send them a link, to use social media to let them know. Two, making it easier for even the smallest companies to file their own paperwork, which means more of that credit stays in their pocket. And three, for an organization like ours who partners very closely and tries to help facilitate all of these companies and trying to help them file, it makes it easier for us to know at what stage our companies are in, for us to look and say, oh, these guys haven't applied yet. We should really proactively reach out to them to let them know. So I think as a partnership with the city, it makes us all much more effective in helping these companies file and keep the money in their pockets and use it to hire now, to hire more folks now, and to have really what amounts to investment capital flowing into their companies. So thank you to Todd. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, as always, for your leadership. And Regina, a special shout out to Natasha Seffo, who has led this initiative from inside the Office of Economic and Workforce Development. We're very excited to begin using this tool. Thanks.
Thank you, Kate. So at this point, I wanted to just show everyone what the tool looks like and give you a sense of how it would work for the businesses that want to use the tool. So if you're a business, you start by going to sfeasyapp.oewd.org. You create a login, and then you're given the option to enter your business information. That's step 2. After you've entered your business information, you go to step 3 and apply for your credits. And for all the eligible employees, you fill out a very quick and simple form. Fill out the information on your employee, why they qualify, and then you hit submit. That sends it over to our administrators here in the Office of Economic Workforce Development, who will then review the application. Now, one of the big changes in this is that you will be able to track and manage all of your hiring tax credit applications entirely online. So as the mayor said, you don't have to guess what the status is, or if it's been approved, or if there's more information that we need to proceed. You can manage that entirely through this Enterprise Zone web app. So again, as mayor, as Kate, and as others have said, the goal here really is to increase the efficiency and save people time as they're saving money. So with that, I'll open it up in case there's any questions for any of the speakers here today. Anything? All right, thank you so much, and we'll be around if there's any other questions.
San Francisco
Okay.
Government Television.